video, I'll be showing you how to make this cute little guy. I'll be using a pre-sewn kit from sockmonkey.net, also available on amazon.com. We'll start with sock number 1. Be careful while you're cutting, not to cut into the stitches. Continue the cut a little bit past the end there to make a hole for you to stuff through. On sock number 2, just continue cutting out, as you see here. Now we're going to turn the parts. So use the opening that you made when you were cutting. And as you can see, you just work the piece to the right side out through that small opening. Continue to pull it out until finally it's all and completely out, right side out. To do the legs and the arms, you can do them the same way. Start at the end, kind of make an indentation and put your thumb through, and just work your thumb all the way to the end of the piece. And once you have the end bit, you can just pull it right side out. At this point, you will want to put the safety pins in your opening. Sometimes the stitches here come unraveled on the socks. To avoid that, just grab any that look like they might do that, thread them through the safety pin, and secure it to both sides of this opening between the legs. Now we'll do the tail. It's done pretty much the same way as the arms and the legs. It's just a little bit more difficult because it's so long and narrow. Stick your thumb in and then use your dowel instead of your thumb to thread the fabric down over the dowel and completely thread that down until it pops out the other end. Then you can take the dowel out and turn it right side out. For the ears, you'll need to make a very small opening, maybe just 1 or 2 threads with your scissors, and use that small opening to turn the ears right side out. Try and get a nice round shape on those too. So now we're going to stuff the little guy. Grab your big bag of fluff, take a nice size handful, and we'll use that opening we made between the legs on sock number 1. So use your thumbs and just push the fluff straight into the opening. And when you're stuffing a monkey, or probably any toy, what you do is you push the fluff all the way to the end of the piece. And this is the head, so we want to make it kind of round, head shaped. And then you backfill. Just continue to backfill until you reach the hole. And this is the body. And you might notice some lumps. If it's a little bit lumpy, don't worry about it. Just continue to work with the fluff until you get it shaped how you like. Yep, got to round out the bottom there. So if it looks a little lumpy, just go ahead and continue working it with your hands. And you can roll it on the table or roll it between your arms. You do the legs very similar to the head and the body, just a little bit smaller bits of fluff. Push them all in with your thumbs, and then work them all the way to the ends of the piece. And you'll stuff the hands or the arms just the same as the legs. And again, you want it nice and soft, not too tight. Just continue backfilling, and you can use your stuffer dowel. Help you do some shaping there. Get it shaped just how you like. Okay, the tail is a little bit more difficult to stuff because again it's very long and narrow. And if you'd like, you can leave it completely unstuffed. It looks fine that way too. It's your monkey. It's totally up to you. But to stuff the tail, go ahead and use your finger, get a small amount, stuff it in there, and then you will need to use the stuffing dowel. If you don't have a stuffing dowel, you can use a pencil. And work those little bits of fluff with the dowel all the way to the end of the piece. And then just continue backfilling. And again, go ahead and roll it between your hands, or roll it between your hand and the table to get a nice shape. There, it's all stuffed. Now we're going to sew it together. Start by threading your needle. I like to use about an arm's length of thread, doubled up. You want to poke the needle in where you're beginning your seam and draw the thread all the way through, and then keep hold of about 2 inches of the end of the thread and put the needle back in right where you did before. But this time don't draw it through. Take the top thread and wrap it around the needle 3 times. And while you're holding the end of the thread that you draw through first, close that loop with the 3 loops around it. That makes a nice, firm, secure knot attached to your fabric. And then you can take the thread tail, poke it in, and start sewing. Take about 2 threads from each side of your opening and just put the needle through, draw the thread through. Make your stitches very close together. This will make it very secure and tight and neat looking. So just continue sewing that closed, and when you get to those spots where you have your safety pins, go ahead and remove them, being careful not to let those threads unravel. And when you reach the end of the seam, make sure it's really secure. And we're going to go ahead and make a knot the same way we did before. Putting the needle in, and then we'll take the top thread, wrap it around the needle 3 times, and then close the loop to make a nice firmly attached knot to your fabric. And it's a good idea to go ahead and do two knots on some seams. Make it very secure. To tuck the thread into the fabric, go ahead and draw the knot, poke the needle in at the knot, and draw it out about 1 inch from your knot, and then trim off the thread there. It's always good to leave a little bit of thread on the end of a knot. Now we'll start with the tail, and you want to turn the inside of the fabric, turn the fabric to the inside on the ends so that it's nice and neat. Same for the arms. When we get to those, go ahead and make a knot where you want the tail or the limb to be. I like to put the tail right above the white part on the bottom, but you can put it wherever you want. And when you're stitching, take 2 stitches from the monkey side and 2 stitches from the tail side. And just keep it nice and round. Stitch all the way around the tail. If it's for a child, you may want to stitch around twice because the tails take some abuse, so do the arms. So just keep stitching, keeping that nice and round, keeping your stitches very close together. And when you get to the end, you'll make a knot or two, just like you did with the closing the opening between the legs. So same, wrap the thread, draw it closed, make two just so it's very secure, and then poke the needle through about an inch out from your knot and trim it off there. Now we're going to make the neck. To do that, take your yarn and tie it in a bow about 4 inches down from the top of the head. And this makes his neck, so you'll sew the arms on right under that yarn. So again, just like the tail, make the knot on the monkey and then go ahead and start stitching around two stitches from each side. Now we're done with that. We'll go ahead and turn the bow to the back so that we can sew on the mouth. Again, turn all edges under so that the edges are neat, and position the mouth right above the yarn. And you can use your safety pins to pin the mouth in place on the bottom. Get it shaped nice, just how you like, and then pin it to the face. And once you get it attached, you start at one side and make a knot like normal, and then you sew the bottom half all along the bottom, keeping your stitches nice and close together. Once you get the first few stitches, you can take out the safety pin on that side so it's not in your way. Then you can continue sewing all along the bottom, keeping the shape nice. And once you get the bottom all sewed on, you'll take some fluff and you'll stuff the mouthpiece. You don't need a whole lot, but you do want a nice big full mouth. Just push the fluff in the opening, make a nice rounded out full mouth, and then if you want, tuck the fabric. If you want, you can secure the top bit again with your safety pin, but you don't have to if you don't want to. So once you have your safety pin in place, go ahead and tuck the fabric. Always keep the fabric tucked in, and continue the seam from the bottom all the way across the top. Once you get to the end, go ahead and make a knot like you did before. Finishing off the same way by tucking the thread in and trimming off about an inch from the knot. Now it's time to do the ears. You want to place them right on the side of the head, just under the white part, and sew them on just like you did with the other legs. The hat is optional, and so is the pom-pom. If you'd like to sew the pom-pom on, make a knot on the inside of the hat, then push the needle through the hat, through the pom-pom, holding the pom-pom on the top. Make a stitch, and go ahead and repeat that at least 3 times to make a nice secure attachment. And then if you want to add the hat, just position it where you like, make a knot on the back where at the beginning of your seam, and this one does not need to be sewn on quite so securely. So just make one stitch, And then you can poke it through about an inch from each stitch. That's all you really need. And finish off. Like with anything else, make a knot, trim it. Now we'll make the face. So we want to thread our needle with our black embroidery floss. And here we only want one strand caught in the knot, but we will make a knot like before. Use about an arm's length worth of thread, as usual. Make the knot right where you want the eye. Then you hold the button, you bring the thread up through the back of the button, hold the button very close to your fabric, bring the needle back down through the opposite hole on the button and through the fabric of the face and out the back near where your knot was. Pull it tight, bring the needle through the original hole, through the back of the button, and back down again through the button, through the front of the button and the back of the fabric. And you'll want to do about 3 stitches in each direction. So you switch directions, do 3 stitches the other way, and you'll make a little bit of an X there. And when you're done, 3 stitches on either side, you'll make a knot as before, only catching one end of the thread because you don't want to make a really big knot. So you wrap the top thread around it 3 times. And you can go ahead and catch the tail from the first knot in that knot to make it a little extra secure. Again, you can see that's trying to catch both ends. You just want the one. Make it nice and tight though. You don't want those buttons coming off. And instead of pushing the knot or the needle through, you can go ahead and push it all the way to the spot where you want your other eye at. Come out there, make another knot, and sew it on just as before. Now when you've got both of the eyes sewn on and you want to make eyebrows, again make your knot, pull it through about where you want your eyebrow to start. You might want to sketch this on. If not, just go ahead and sort of follow a straight line the direction you want your eyebrow to be, and then use a back stitch to embroider. That means going forward 1 stitch and then coming back to the hole you just came out of and bringing it back through that, as you can see. And again, you can go ahead and make 1 eyebrow and then have the needle come out on the opposite side to make the other eyebrow. And keep using a back stitch. And then you can go ahead when you're finished doing your back stitches. Keep adjusting your thread so that you don't have double thickness. So you want to keep doing that. And when you're finished, make a knot behind the button so that it's not visible. Yeah, right there. Go ahead and make a knot right there. And you are pretty much done. Now all you have to do is admire your cute little monkey. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about how to make your sock monkey, post them in the comments. Bye-bye!